Oh, snap. Go dock you. Ooh, court got obliterated yesterday. What the heck happened there? Weird, something happened. All right, ping doing good. I like the move up in ping here. Hey, good morning, Rob. This ping's got no options. All right, makes an easy decision there. Winnebago holding nice and tight. And Fortinet playing around, still above the 10-day moving average, playing around up here. Yesterday, the market kind of had a pretty big shakeout in the middle of the day. Some China news, I guess. Visa came in a bunch, backing and filling, looking like still above the moving averages. So maybe a lower risk entry for some of these. ENDP backed away from that breakout yesterday as well on high volume. AMD saw a lot of things pulling back. I took some profits yesterday actually. Just kind of trying to see what's holding up here this morning. What could be at a buyable low position. I was looking at Xilinx yesterday trying to find maybe some kind of bottom entry off of this trend line. So far, that's basically where we spiked off of. We went a little bit beneath it. A nice bounce here would be a pretty good trade. I don't have that on the docket as of yet. I do have AYX trade loosely lined up, although yesterday kind of took it on the chin, closed a little bit lower on some very elevated volume. The prior day, though, we had a ton of volume step in here towards the close. So we found support around that area at the 104. So that's pretty good. So AYX hasn't really had a major pullback yet. This is probably the first one. This one of the 200-day was 36%, so I guess it didn't have a base there. This one 41%. So that's a pretty deep pullback for AYX. Carvana trying to go and retake highs there. INMD holding up here pretty nicely. I don't think there's an entry quite yet as we're still consolidating. Maybe a few more days, a little more sideways action. D-Dog actually holding near the low of a buyable gap up. You see some support here, so that is loosely near a entry point. Needs some bullishness there. Oh, that one has earnings for whatever, or options for whatever reason. So this could be a lower risk entry point down around this area. Could use this 10 or 20-day moving average as a stop. Still kind of watching it though. I don't know, I guess in terms of a rally, you're looking at maybe like another, just a standard 20%, which is about 49.50 give or take. It's pretty close to 50. I'm just gonna say 50. So that's 50 by January. I've got over there. That's not too bad. That one will give me a little less risk. And then Twilio, also on my watch list, held yesterday pretty nicely actually. Kind of maintained this little low late in the afternoon the day before. And it's kind of on the way up. No pocket pivots, but I was looking at Twilio yesterday. I was pretty impressed by some of these high volume candles, especially these two right here on earnings, able to close well off the low there, able to close well off the low there, and we didn't really get too many closes up under here, and they were pretty low volume too. They weren't super low volume, but they were pretty low volume. So now we're up above the 10 and the 20, working on the 50, and Twilio with an undercut of this 200-day moving average for the first time. Well, I guess it did it over here too, but this one went sideways for a year and then curled up. So hard to get super excited about Twilio, but it's at least looking pretty good. AMD trying to pull in. Maybe buy it if it gets to this 10-day moving average. It's been on this this run above the 10-day. So if it gets down to the 10-day, that would be a buy signal. And a break of the 10-day there would be your exit. Oak is still doing pretty good. Actually did pretty decently well yesterday in that shakeup. Came back to close right at the highs. A little bit of distribution this morning. Looks like it is waning momentum slightly. You can see it just jumped up, and then now it's starting to go sideways. So probably have a pullback here. We're pretty extended, maybe back down to some moving averages and such. On your Uber trade, let's check it out. Yeah, that's a pretty big support day. That could put in a low on the weekly chart. That is the largest volume, so that's not too bad. Yeah, I may not have love for certain companies, but I've got love for every trade, Justin. But yeah, yesterday was a pretty nice pocket pivot on Uber. Coming up to the 20-day, 50-day moving average, going to be coming up here pretty quickly. You may find some resistance around there, so you're just going to have to pick and choose if you're going to hold it or not. Now, that is quite a bit of volume. Look at all that volume after earnings. Look, it's all well above average without price progress downwards. That would imply some accumulation down here. Could probably put a stop easy down there under the 25 and be good. 25.50. So can't say it's going to rocket up into 20, 30, 40 for you by the end of the year, but you could be in a position where you found a low area. So like I said, this could just be a pop, and maybe you're going to try to sell it into some kind of weakness up here. If you want to hold some for a longer term, that's fine. I don't think we've broken anything longer term in terms of trends. So like I said, that could be some supportive action right there. Break of this trend line, I say you hold that position. Absolutely. And that would also coincide with a break of that 50-day moving average. So Uber actually looking a little better. A little better. You see this rise over here, no volume. Over here, you've got some volume. So, yeah, I'd say you did a pretty good job there, Justin. Looks like it spiked higher overnight, and we're right at that area, so there could be some resistance here. We'll see how it plays out. Market down slightly this morning, about 0.2%. Nothing too crazy. Let's go check out the global watch list. What's down today? CRISPR, which was up big recently, pulling back nicely to about the gap area. May find some support down here at the gap lows. It's fairly close to that. You got a 10-day moving average trying to catch up as well. This thing's just done. Pays is just gone. EDU pulled back to the 50-day, which it hasn't done very often. You see here on the daily chart. Maybe loosely a buying opportunity, but so far I don't see anything in the chart that is indicative of that. A second day for the MJ stocks. You got CGC up off the lows here in pretty spectacular fashion yesterday. Not quite a pocket pivot due to earnings, but I don't know. I kind of have to give it to it because that's an earnings day, and this is not an earnings day. So earnings is going to be crazy volume, but whatever this is definitely organic. So getting through to that 50-day, that could act as some resistance as it gets pretty extended. That's got to be a huge run, 38% in 3 days. ACB, similar run. So you got these MJ stocks up here. Probably just some short covering. Hard to say exactly. Still underneath key moving averages. Everything is, though. Not super interested in buying these down this low. Could just be another dead cat bounce. LK, after a big pop up, let's add this to the actual list. This could start to move on us nicely. Pretty decent. It's getting a little bit tighter here. Volumes are a little strange, but I'm not too mad at it. MJ up 5% in response to all those. Docu sold off after that spike this morning. Amarin, Stitch Fix. Trade Desk doing pretty good. Pretty green, looking a lot like Okta. Straight up through all these moving averages. Lots of pocket pivots right here. Well, I guess two out of three of these massive ones are pocket pivots. Then you have some 5-day pocket pivots jumping in over here recently. So Trade Desk looking like it's in a rush to get back towards recent highs. What's that? Oh, that's Tesla. Oh, nice. It's nice when you have a chart and you're like, oh, that's a great stock, and you own it. Amarin pulling in, ZTO. Restoration Hardware not quitting after Warren Buffett's investment. So this could spark another large rally. And right there, just as we're talking, the thing moving out. So measured move here up to the 232 level. Potentially by next January, which wouldn't be very good for options. RH making new highs, though. That's buyable off a little consolidation. Here's Twilio looking decent. Yeah, maybe Rob. We're still under a bunch of key everything in terms of the MJ stock, so be patient and don't just start rushing in, because you could have a big short covering rally. Because keep in mind, these things have come down a tremendous amount, and so you're going to have shorts that are just looking to take profits. FIVN also coming back in new highs already. So this, in theory, should be a cup base. And need a lot of volume this morning to make that breakout stick, but so far looking okay. Winnebago super tight up here. Been tight for a long time. You got a couple of really small volume candles. I love these. I love these tiny volume candles. So you could be interested in maybe taking positions with a stop right down here at that 47. That's going to put you about a 3% stop loss. So these low volume candles are basically, I view them as tests. The market's kind of testing the stock to see if it's going to fall apart. Hasn't yet, and you've got some higher lows. Both of these with elevated volumes and closing off with the lows. So pretty tight stop here for Winnebago for a stock that's been really good. I mean, it's been pretty good. We kind of rallied up over here. Our buddy Ted came back, was telling us about Winnebago down here at 25, and here it is up here at 50. I mean, sitting here with a nice tight pattern. Hold on a minute, got to grab some water. All right, I'm back. Good morning, Eli. Yeah, I was thinking this may provide some nice buying opportunities. This little pullback here in the markets. Looks like some of them have already been eaten up, but there'll be some other gems remaining. KSS. Oh, Kohl's. Um, I don't know. It's hard to play the found bottom game. There's different ways to invest. One is kind of value buying, which is not really what it's kind of what picking bottoms is, but value buying, is like, oh, this stock is trading at a good multiple. There's technical bottom buying, which is looking for these capitulation candles, and kind of what we talked about earlier, the higher volume, like we look at Uber, stuff like that. That's, I mean, I can identify signals like, I mean, that looks pretty decent in terms of bottoms. It's hard to call the bottom. But if that's something that you're interested in, you really got to study those and go back and look at what you're really looking for is a reversal formation. You're never going to get the bottom. If you try that, you're gonna get clipped many, many, many times because what looks good as a bottom now in 2 days is going to look like, oh, it's just breaking down further. So I really prefer to look for reversals, things getting stronger. This is a decent example of that. I mean, the volume here is tremendous, so that is showing a little bit of support. But I'm glad Justin's making some money on that. But for me, that's really not an edge that I have in the market. I really look for strength and things looking to get stronger. So bottom buying always sounds fun, and it's kind of a fun game to play. But I don't know if it's a tradable thing you can do unless you really focus on that. If you really focus on that and come up with a strategy and stuff that, really good money management opportunities, then yeah, you can go ahead and play the bottom buying game. But that's not really something I've focused on. I've really tried to focus on other stuff. Ooh, MongoDB. Haven't seen this guy in a while. Man, that guy getting froggy. There's a beautiful pocket pivot yesterday on Mongo. And this thing just continuing, so go Mongo. They've come down, they've undercut their moving averages. And yesterday they took out that trend line right there. Wow, I completely lost sight of this one. So, talking about bottoms and such, here's one where you have a nice high volume breakdown, and then there's a nice reversal candle. Then you have this nice kind of a cup pattern. It's a small guy, but it's up off of the lows. And that is pretty good for a reversal down here about the 139. We're already up $10 from that. So that one's not a bad one. Actually, those appear to be pocket pivots too. So these are some nice reversal signals. Yeah, these are two beautiful pocket pivots right here. One, yeah, absolutely. I'm going to count that. Way up there. Yeah, so 3 beautiful pocket pivots in a row. MongoDB looks like it's just been in a general curl upwards, and so far hard to say that's going to stop. So that guy's been on a tear. So that's your recent downtrend, undercutting all the moving averages. Look at all the moving averages converging right here, and then boom, back off again. So I like those moving averages converging too. That's something I've come to realize is a good thing. Add that to the actionable list. All right, Roku. I'm getting pretty close to recent highs. Maybe look for, I don't know, elevated volume here as well. A little hard to get into at the moment. It's pretty much above everything. I mentioned Restoration Hardware earlier, trying to break out of this little mini base. 1, 2, yeah, it's just there's a tiny little consolidation. It's a little bit extended. The market's still a little bit fuddy down here, so I'm not sure if I'm jumping in on something like that quite. I'd rather take some kind of something that looks like MDB, MongoDB, with really good volumes. How's Twitter looking like it may want to reverse, wherever that jumped to? So, oh, wow, pretty good this morning. Look at that. That's lots of volume this morning. So Twitter, let's take a peek here. Oh, come on. All right, fine, I'll do it like this. Okay, now I have to fit all the... Oh, price is up here. Anyway, there's kind of a bottom right there. Interesting point in the chart. Getting through a couple of moving averages right there. Could take a risk here with the low underneath today's low. It's only up a couple percent, but your risk is about 2% right there. Looks like it is trying to get over recent highs. It barely poked above it there, so let's see if it can sustain there. So Twitter may be at an interesting reversal point. I definitely say maybe on that one. On the weekly chart, it really has not gathered any major momentum. Had an uptrend for most of the year there, but that's a massive gap down. Just a massive gap. I'm not too up on the earnings on Twitter, but just technically, why isn't it rallying harder and why is it falling so hard? Good questions to ask. I do like Mongo's look here, though. If it can maybe settle out or pull back, that'd be fantastic. Trade desk, but of course the market's going to look a little weird then too, so you got to be a little ballsy buying some of those. HCC, Tesla doing fine. Match.com appears to be calming. Can't say there was a pun intended there, but I can't say there wasn't a subliminal pun. So forming a channel right there and actually getting above the channel and some moving averages. Also moving averages converging here for Match.com. So let's put that on the actionable list. That could get frisky here pretty quick. Look at that. Look at this day. This is actually a pretty good day. This earnings gap down, huge gap, and then just buys the entire day. So there's massive support somewhere down here. And now you're back in the mix of these moving averages. You're overtaking a bunch of these. So maybe you can probably put a stop here under about the 66. Should be a little deep actually, but on the chart wise, it's not too bad if you're looking for reversals up. Match.com's been beaten down a little bit. You can see here spiking under that 200 period moving average, which is what it just did. So that right there, that could be a beautiful move into highs if this gets some momentum. What does that look like? If the market starts to get a little bit good again, I would like to see some pocket pivots in here. We're not really seeing any of that. The volume here is pretty low. Let's just target 90 with that one. I guess the question is, when would it get there? Take about 3 months probably. Yeah, it's not too bad if you bought it here. If it gets any more extended, that's going to evaporate. It's not too bad, though. Crossing the trend line shows a little bit of change in direction, but the volume signature isn't quite there. We'll keep an eye on it and see what happens. But after earnings there, just weird volume signatures right there. Yeah. These were bought up off of the lows. This one, not so much. Yeah, we'll see. Market's still 0.15% down. FIVN, URI, XON. I forget what these guys do. I always think they're oil, but they always end up being tech, I think. Nettie's is up a bunch today. Develops DNA gene programs using its suite of proprietary and complementary tech for a variety of end markets. Composite ranking of only 33 out of 99. Relative strength of 22. Did show a pocket pivot yesterday, though. So definitely getting above the 50-day moving average on some elevated volume. Right there. And a majority of that was not even on this downtrend. Looks like it was some aftermarket action. Some dark pool action right there on the close. Maybe. That's a pretty ballsy move, though. This thing's been in a downtrend since my kids have been born. But we're coming pretty close to it. So we do in crypto, we see this often. We see a low and then holding higher, and then maybe a bounce out. But it's really hard to get really hard to get in. This thing just to pop. Cannabis stocks rally for second day after House passes bill aiming to lift federal ban on weed. Nice. All right, there you go. So maybe we'll see something. Maybe we won't. There's some good volume down there. I mean, like I said, I don't know, maybe just some short covering. I'm still not super into it. Need to see a little bit more. But if you're interested in much longer term plays, that could be something. I mean, it is down significantly. I think some of the valuations are still pretty high. Let's go check out, remember we checked out FinViz a while back and looked at the price to sales. We can look at CGC, which appears to be a leader. And they don't have any sales data, but they do appear to be, CGC, the volume appears to be bottoming. Looking about Hexo, do they have sales? They don't have sales. How about Tilray? Tilray has sales, so their price to sales is 15. They were at 25. Someone was at 25. That seems much more manageable now. Market cap of $2 billion for Tilray. Sales of $135 million. I don't think CGC we get sales numbers, which is dumb. Yeah, how do you not get sales numbers on a stock? I don't understand that. So, yeah, I mean, we're still beaten up, I guess, if we get a big reversal here or something. I do still like the MJ name. I think it's a good way to play the stocks. Pocket pivot yesterday. If you want to take a flying leap, but I really wouldn't risk too much on those MJ stocks at this level. If it starts to work out, you could start layering into a position, but for an entry position on the House. Well, now the Senate has to pass something, and good luck with that. And then President signing anything that the Democrats pass is probably not very good. AMED rocketing right there into new highs recently. Pretty good the past couple of weeks. Jazz Pharmaceuticals. Oh, wow. Pharmaceuticals coming back. Curl F. Yeah, I don't think we have this one. This one, recent IPO and not undercutting, which is actually interesting. Showing a little bit of strength. Let's see what this looks like. CURL. Curlf. This is an OTC stock, which is why FinViz doesn't have it. Yeah, so this is over the counter, meaning it's not on a major exchange. It's not held to the same rules and standards as something is on the NASDAQ or the Amex. So, or the NYSE. Maybe. Maybe that article just giving some press to this over-the-counter name. That happens a lot. They'll issue press releases and pump themselves. Or, investors will do that. Not necessarily the company per se. That would probably be illegal. Which is why they do it all the time. Oh, CCC. Okay. That's not too bad. U.S. company. Gotcha. That's a pretty nice breakout yesterday. And you probably could argue. Oh, that was the day before. Never mind. Could this be? No, there's no handle here per se. You could argue loosely that's a handle. So maybe that would be your breakout day a couple days ago, which means you're already up about only 3% for CCC. What are your fundamentals? 54 composite rating, Channel Islands based company provides insights and analytics. Negative 60% EPS. 1,400% EPS change. Current quarter is going from negative 29 to positive 14. Sales is 0. 58% change in funds owning stock is massive. 3% quarters of increasing fund ownership. That could be something to take notice of. 58% change in funds owning stock. That's pretty big. I don't know where they got their shares from because there doesn't appear to be a lot of big volume days here, but yeah, that could be intriguing. Add that to the actionable list. That is 58% change in funds owning stock. I've only seen a few numbers better than that. That's pretty good. 95 composite rating, so that's good too. Recently undercut here at the 50 period moving average. Well, that's actually a 20 period moving average, which is akin to the 50 day. So here we go, all the moving averages converging and then bouncing here off the 50 day right there, and then boom, off to the races, even after earnings. So see if it's able to hold up over here. Not quite 100% certain it's going to, but definitely intriguing action. And then Twilio out of here too, looking intriguing, breaking a trend line. AMN Healthcare. Okay, let's see if you want to break your trend line, buddy. 805. I gotta get going. I gotta get going, guys. Domino's Pizza looks like it's trying to break trend lines here too. That could get going again. When the market's healthy, Domino's Pizza just likes to frickin' rock. But this has been sideways for a couple of years, so that could be a nice move up for Domino's Pizza if it can break. It's already broken this bottom trend line. Not a lot of volume stepping in, and it's actually really no consolidation. Would like some type of a consolidation. These can continue like this. It's just hard to buy in the middle of it, even if it's breaking a trend line like that. $72 composite rating, number 5 in this industry group. 15,000 franchises. Mediocre sales, 5% EPS change last quarter. 4% sales change. I mean, what the hell's Domino's gonna do? CCC. Did I say it was? Oh, it was some like Canary Islands or something. I don't know. It's like Canary Islands. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta get something to eat, get ready for my show. But market's doing okay. We're down about 0.2%. We're not really moving lower, which is good. We'll probably end up moving higher later in the day, which would be pretty good. And then you can it's like Visa and Okta down. So this is the actionable list right now. Ping leading the day. DDOG, yeah. It's a little, yeah, it looks like it's elevated a little bit. Yeah, I think DDOG is still okay. It's holding the lows here, which is pretty nice. Ideally, it does something like Ping does and just kind of pops up over these recent highs. But yeah, I don't mind DDOG. Yeah, I don't mind. It's finding some support around the lows here, and it's like pulling. Looks like it just bounced off the 10-day this morning right there. So yeah, I mean overall, the market's still looking pretty good. Everything that we've been looking at, DocuSign looks like holding up nicely up here in this little mini gap. And INMD just looks like it may go on another tear. Keep this one on a short list, put an alert on it or something. It looks pretty good. But yeah, I'm not mad at DDOG. Maybe trying to get over a trend line of sorts. That one looks like it's trying to get over that. So we'll see. BTC down, is it? I don't know. I haven't really looked at it. Oh, Link's going up. Oh, that's Link BTC. Maybe because BTC is going down. Oh, yeah, there you go. Big drop, 7%. Yep, there we go. We mentioned yesterday in the power hour, look for, and that was here. Actually, right there, we mentioned look for a pop for a shorting opportunity. We get a pop and then shorting opportunity. XTZ still holding strong. This thing is so strong. All right, guys. Well, I got to get out of here. Yeah, it looks like BTC's taking it on the chin. Yee. All right, guys. I'll see you later today, maybe, if you guys are in crypto. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.